What's up, guys? Welcome to edition number 2 of my Sleepaway Camp reviews, and obviously this is Sleepaway Camp Part 2, Unhappy Campers. This is the one that I watched for the first time tonight, actually. Had never seen it previously. Love the cover, and I love the Jason mask and the Freddy hand glove. Just looked like, obviously, I assumed and had heard that that's Angela coming back because I know Angela is in all of the films, all of the Sleepaway Camp films. I don't know about part 4 or 5 though. But yeah, cool cover art that definitely, what do you call it? Nods its head to 80s slashers, like it owns it on its sleeve kind of thing. And I love, which I didn't know, that actually these come, they play a big part in a big chunk of this movie. One of the coolest kills that happen in it, which I very much liked. So, plot. Angie is back. She is now a camp counselor at this camp called Camp Rolling Hills. It opens up, basically these kids are on a campfire, they're telling spooky stories, and they're basically rehashing the first film with like the kills and what happened at Camp Aramac, I think. And they rehash, the bee kill, the boiling water kill with the pedo, the the pedo, I love it. The arrow through Mel's head at the end of one of the last kills, and of course Angela and what happened with her, and the whole ending of the film that I didn't talk about, and I won't because, like I said, I'm not going to be spoiling the ending of that film like it was tragically spoiled for me. So for anybody who hasn't seen the film, I won't spoil it. The first one. Okay, I thought the first film was bad, like in a good way, but I thought it was like terrible and cheesy and horribly acted and horribly directed and horribly edited until I watched this film, and it makes it look like a masterpiece. This film takes itself way less seriously. It adds more humor, and this film is just bringing Angela back for some more hacking and slashing, and let's make reasons to do needle drops on 80s rock metal songs, flash some tits, and slay some people up. That's this film. Angela, like I said, she's a camp counselor now. The story goes that at the end of the first film, Angela was sent to a mental ward where she was pumped full of drugs and electroshock therapy or whatnot, and and she was basically treated like a lab rat and was released for some reason, never explained, and she's now a camp counselor, and she's very... The tropes of 80s films, everybody knows it, you have sex, you die, right? Well, this bitch wears it on her sleeve. She's so vocal about it. She refers to sex as fornicating, and you can always tell that when she like catches a couple having sex, she's always like, her face is like this, she's almost like this like highly religious woman kind of thing, the way in her behavior, even though she's like, she's not in like some Christian camp or anything like that. She's doesn't have that background, but she acts like she does. And she's filleting anybody that, does drugs and has sex, like Jason does, except he doesn't talk about it because he doesn't talk. She is extremely vocal about it. It's great. The music in it is a lot of fun. And obviously the kills are really good, as they should be in any slasher film, but a sleepaway camp film especially. There's a lot of scenes, especially at the beginning, but throughout the film, this really feels like a TV sitcom that you would see in the 80s, but if it was missing a laugh track. The only thing if this had a laugh track in it in certain scenes, it would literally feel like, something like Married with Children or some shit. because there's a lot of comedy that doesn't always land, but it's there, and it has that cheap feel, like a television sitcom from the '80s would feel. This film feels cheaper. It feels a lot cheaper, a lot less of a budget behind it. I don't know in comparison the differences between budget between this and the first one, but the first one just felt more. And this is going to be surprising for me to say, had more effort put into it, even though it was like the effort was trash. This one's more trash. It's like they cared even less. They took a step downwards in giving a shit. Like it feels like a slasher that they just felt like putting out. Like I from what I remember from the third film, which I've only seen once, maybe twice, but a few years ago. I'm gonna be rewatching it for this review series. I remember the third being better than this one. Maybe I'll rewatch it and think it's actually the same or worse, but we'll see when the time comes. Um, the I forgot to mention her first kill at the beginning when the kids are sitting around the camp. Um, One of her first kills is with this girl named Phoebe, and she smacks her in the face with a tree trunk, and Phoebe's just she's bleeding everywhere, and she doesn't really make a sound. She's uh like literally like that. Like I'm not exaggerating at all. She's just like just falls, and then Angela grabs her tongue and starts cutting it out, and she's like, "Yeah, that's for like talking too much, or that's for your filthy mouth, or something like that." And then the title card comes up. It's pretty funny. Um, there's a kid named Emilio who refers to these girls this girl's tits as party hats when she's in the pool, and she comes out of the pool and her white T-shirt is showing everything, and she's like, "Hey, party hats at 2 o'clock." I found that funny, him referring to tits as party hats. One kill involves Angela burning these girls alive because they were fucking in the woods, obviously, and doing drugs. The skeletons are hilarious when like after they're burnt. They're literally like these pitch black skeletons that look like they don't look burnt. They literally look like they're made of like black chrome almost. They look so stupid, so like Halloween prop ish that it's hilarious to look at. Like they look like they would be from a comedy movie. Like you know, if you had like a spoof movie or something where you know it was showing like I don't know a dead person that was decaying for like 12 years or something, and they were just a skeleton. Like it looks like or like you know those skeletons you see in like science classrooms in like high schools. That's what they looked like, but black, like charcoal black. Um, they just it just looked so stupid. But it's hilarious how stupid they look. Um, there's another kill where she kills this woman named Mare because she hates being called Mary. She's always called Mary, but her name is Mare, and she makes that very clear. And she's about to send her home, but because she did something in camp that Angela didn't like, and she's like, okay, well, you can come back if you say you're sorry. And Mare is like, no way, I'd rather die. And then Angela's digging in the back seat, and she's like, what? And Mare's like, what? Are you looking for a gun or something? And she's like, no, a gun? No, a drill. And she has a drill, and she's so nonchalant about her kills. That's another thing that's hilarious about Angie in this one. She's not the shy girl that she was in the first film. She's so high in confidence and she's so giddy. And she kind of does her kills as if she's like doing a job, like taking out the trash or something like that. Yeah, taking out the trash, perfect example. And she's like murdering this girl. She's just like, yep, just gotta do what I gotta do. She's like got blood like splashing on her face. She's like, you know, she's not like emotional about it. She's so emotionless. She's just like it's just another duty. Like It's like doing a workout or something. Like it's just something that's got to be done. And I find that like funny in her character kind of thing. And nobody suspects that she's a killer either because she's so giddy all the time and she like gets along with everybody as long as everybody's following the rules, you know, not fucking or doing drugs. Can't do that shit, you're gonna die. um, Again, the mullets are everywhere in this film. There's this guy named TC who's another counselor. I don't TC. That's his name in the film. Um, Huge mullet. I'm talking like friggin' like curly 1980s party in the back, business in the front, whole deal. There's a scene. Everybody in this camp, they have this trope where they scare everybody. The girls scare the guys scare the girls. These guys are making a mask in order to scare Angela, but they're making this mask to scare Angela. Angela's literally like 3 feet away. They're making this mask and they're talking to this other person. They're like, "We're gonna make a mask to scare Angela." Angela's literally like right there. It's like, what? What are you doing? You want to scare Angela? You don't make a friggin' mask right in front of Angela. But you know, writing for you. And that's where later on, well, soon after, I should say, the Freddy and Jason thing come in because one guy dresses as like this Freddy lookalike, and the other guy dresses as a Jason lookalike. I say lookalikes because you can tell what they're going for, but obviously they don't say what they are, copyright reasons. And the things like the Jason mask is just a little bit different, and the Freddy, you know, his hat's not the same, but he puts like burn marks on his face, and he gets the knife glove and everything. So you know what they're going for, obviously. But and then shows up. They're trying to scare Angela or just the girls. I think they want to scare the girls. But here comes Angela, and she's dressed as Leatherface. I thought she was dressed as Michael Myers at first, but then she like busts out a chainsaw, and I was like, oh, she's going for Leatherface. And then you can see that she's wearing like this skin like mask that has like the skin hanging on down her neck like Leatherface does. And she hacks them up real good. I like the chainsaw kills. I like any chainsaw kills, to be honest, in slasher films. And there's a sex scene between this girl named Molly, who is my favorite character in the film. She is the final girl, as a matter of fact. And she has a crush on this guy named Sean. And her and Sean are having this sex scene. And no, shit, that was Allie and Sean. Because Sean is after Allie and Molly. Molly is like kind of more the innocent girl. Allie's the complete raging slut. Allie fucks everyone. There's a scene where she bangs this guy. It's funny, actually. She bangs this guy named Rob in the forest. And when they're done, she's like, oh, thanks. By the way, do you have like AIDS or anything? I'm like, oh, wow. Geez, great timing. You definitely want to ask after you fuck the guy, not, you know, before. Hilarious. Hilarious. And then she goes to meet Sean after fucking Rob. She goes, like, literally to meet Sean. That's who she thinks she's meeting. She actually meets Angela because Angela tricked her into meeting Sean by the porta potty or whatnot. Which leads to another infamous scene in this film that I had heard about but hadn't seen before, where she pushes Allie into the bathroom, or the porta potty, and literally forces her into the shitter. And she's swimming in the, like, underneath the toilet in this big ass bucket of, you know, crap. And leeches, and her head is, she's trying to get out of the toilet. She's like gasping for air, and Angela has this stick and is like forcing her down into this like bucket of sewage. It's disgusting. It's absolutely disgusting. It's the most disgusting kill in the film. I'll give it that. Yeah. I feel sorry for everybody who hasn't seen the film and is just trying to imagine this in their head. But if you've seen the film, You know exactly what I'm talking about, don't you? I'm tired tonight. There's a battery acid kill where TC takes some battery acid to the face. And of course Angie ends up being fired because when she kills people, she says that she sent them home after she hides the bodies and shit, and she's not allowed to be sending people home without checking with Uncle John, who's like the main, the boss of the counselors. All counselors have to run it by Uncle John before they send anybody home, obviously. But here's Angela sending like 10 people home within like 3 or 4 days, sending them home. Sending them home to hell. Because they're fucking and drinking and doing drugs in the woods. They must be sent home. And then she gets revenge on TC. She gets revenge on Uncle John. She captures Molly and Sean, which is sad because, like I said, Molly's my favorite character. She's super cute. She's innocent other than her, wanting to bang Sean, and I forget if they do or not. I don't think they do, but maybe they do. I'm not 100% sure if they actually end up having sex or not. But they're captured. She ends up, after throwing battery acid into TC's face, she ends up beheading Sean. Molly ends up getting away. They have this huge chase scene through the forest, and she pushes Molly down a hill, and Molly bangs her head. Angie thinks she's dead. She's not, but she thinks she is. She goes to take care of Uncle John, and this other woman that randomly shows up. There's a woman which is her second last kill. She stabs her to death. But this woman comes out of nowhere. She hasn't been, unless I missed her, this woman with short hair that comes into Uncle John's cabin or office kind of thing, and then she gets stabbed to death. I don't know who that woman was. I really don't. But Angela finishes her off, leaves the camp. She hitches a ride with this random woman who she's kind of like a country like a southern redneck kind of woman, and she is smoking. Yes, she's smoking cigarettes in the car, and Angie asks her if she minds rolling down the window, and she's like, "Yeah, everybody's got a vice," and she's like, "What did she say?" She's like, "Mind smoking, too dumb to drink, too fat to fuck." And then Angie just stabs her to death, steals her car. Molly is she's not dead, obviously, so Molly's escaping, running through the forest again. Runs to the road, sees this truck heading towards her. She flags down the truck, thinking she's gonna be rescued. It's a big trope to all kinds of horror films, including Texas Chainsaw Massacre, the first one, and many others, where you think you flag down the truck thinking it's help, but it's actually the killer that's been chasing you all along. And then credits roll, and there you go. That's Sleepaway Camp Part 2. Worse than the first quality-wise, that's for sure. And, but, a lot of the same shit. I pretty much described it to a T. It's literally just bringing Angela back for some hack and slash, some fillet of campers, unhappy campers, and needle drops of 80s metal and tits. That's Sleepaway Camp Part 2. That's really it. So I mean, it's pretty enjoyable. It's a good trilogy, 1 and 3 to watch. To marathon, basically, especially if you're having a sleepaway camp party with friends or whatnot. But I think the first sleepaway camp stands on its own and merits a good slasher film by itself. I feel that 2 and 3 they went more slasher territory. They stopped taking themselves seriously. They added a shit ton more comedy, but they only fit as a trilogy. They're not really standalone films, really. whereas the first one, they could have just left it at the first sleepaway camp and been fine just leaving it like that. But, you know, it still works as a trilogy. I don't have no idea about the fourth film. I've never seen it. I don't even know what it's about. And same with the fifth, which came out in 2008. So obviously it's going to be more modern. That one is Return to Sleepaway Camp. But we'll see when we get there. I don't own the fifth one. I can't really find it anywhere either. So that one will wait. I'll be doing 1 to 4, which I have here, and we'll get to them. So subscribe to Morgan Film Fan if you like to listen to my voice, or if you like to listen to my reviews. And we will continue with the Sleepaway Camp my God, I can't talk. Quadrilogy, or franchise, as you may want to say. A lot of shit for that. They still have this white box set, but they changed this whole logo around. I just happened to find this one, and apparently Red Cross gave them the shit for that, and that box is very hard to find. But anyway, that's enough for tonight. I'm gonna go to bed real soon. Take care, and until next time, cheers.